This radio program is PG-13. Parents strongly caution some material may be inappropriate for children under the age of 13.
The following program is sponsored by Michael W. Smith. The views expressed on the following program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership.
Arizona, Phoenix. Yes. Brother Mike is back on the radio. Welcome to HardcoreChristianity.com. Thank you for tuning into the program. Welcome to KXXT Christian Radio. Today's Bible study, Toothless Christianity. Oh no. Really? It's for real. Hey, will you call somebody and tell them the radio program's on? Filthy Fridays is on Hardcore Christianity now. This one's safe to share. This is Brother Mike. I'm the professional counselor at the Arizona Deliverance Center. We're downtown on 15th Avenue, just south of Osborne Road. It's a red brick building. We have a counseling center there, and if you're a born-again Christian, you're eligible for free counseling services. All you got to do is call for an appointment, 602-636-5800, free counseling services for born-again Christians. Please remember my Sunday morning podcast at 9 o'clock. It's on twitch.tv at 9 o'clock in the morning Pacific and Arizona time. Please remember we have a women's seminar coming up in October. It's going to be spectacular. The Healing House is open for women to stay there, but we have limited beds, as you can imagine. And please remember we have 3 Zoom services every week. Monday night is for the ladies. Starts at 6:30 p.m. Pacific and Arizona time. Wednesday and Saturday are for everybody. And that starts at 6 p.m. Arizona and Pacific time. We still have 2 live services every week, Thursday and Friday nights at 7 o'clock. And our next Children's Deliverance and Healing service will be September 7th. Please bring your preteens for healing. And remember, on August 18th, Sunday, I will be at the Word of Life Assembly of God Church. Sunday morning, the Word of Life in Miami, Arizona. Not Miami, Florida, Miami, Arizona. Toothless Christianity, can you believe it? It was predicted to come by the great apostle Paul and the great apostle Peter. They predicted it. Check it out, 2 Timothy 3. Know this, that in the last days, perilous times shall come. Greek word kalapos, dangerous. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God. 1 Timothy chapter 4. The Spirit speaks expressly. In the latter times, some shall depart from the faith. That means they had faith to begin with and they left it. Greek word pistos. True faith in Christ. Pistos. They will give heed or listen to seducing spirits and teachings of demons. They will speak lies and hypocrisy. They will have their consciences seared with a hot iron. 2 Peter chapter 3. Know this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, Greek word impetus, mockers, walking after their own lusts. 2 Timothy chapter 4. The time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine. After their own lusts, they shall heap to themselves teachers having itching ears. They will turn away their ears from the truth. They will be turned to fables, Greek word muthos, myths. Myths. Isaiah chapter 59. The great prophet said, quote, no one calls for justice, nor does any plead for truth. They trust in empty words, and they speak lies. They conceive evil and bring forth iniquity. They hatch vipers' eggs and weave spider webs. He who eats of their eggs dies, From that which is crushed, a viper breaks out. That's symbolic language there, isn't it? Yeah, the great prophet was telling people that, listen, they weave spiders' webs, they catch people in their lies, people get caught who are naive and ignorant. They hatch vipers' eggs, they create, devise, and implement new methods of wickedness and evil. They trust in empty words, fake words, plastic words, liars, and they speak lies. He couldn't be any more clear. Well, you saw the opening ceremony of the Olympics, didn't you? Sure did. It was last Friday. The Olympics, of course, are a spectacular world event. The entire world gets together and comes under the guise of peace and athletic achievement. As you know, it happens every 4 years. But this year, the country of France outdid themselves with blasphemy. You saw it, the opening ceremonies last Friday. Couldn't believe it. They mocked and degraded Christianity with a fake Last Supper. And over a dozen individuals in the parade, including drag queens, arranged along a long table reminiscent of Leonardo da Vinci's iconic painting, the Last Supper. And that painting portrayed Jesus' final meal with his disciples before his crucifixion. Everybody knows that. Well, if you watched it on TV, the scene showed the drag queens moving suggestively, sexually along the table on either side of a lesbian who appeared to represent Jesus. Standing still at the center, she was wearing a headpiece, kind of resembled a halo. She held her hands in a heart shape. Staggering blasphemy. Numerous religious leaders in France and around the world condemned what they did. It got so bad they offered a fake apology for it. But even Elon Musk, he waded in on this deal. He went to Twitter. I guess they call it X now. Where'd they come up with the word X? I'm not following that too well, but he puts on there that this scene at the Olympics was extremely disrespectful to Christians. That was his tweet. And he also added that Christianity has now become toothless. Toothless. Boy, how right he is. But the root of this problem goes back to the International Olympic Committee. They had implemented guidelines before the Olympics started to all the countries, all the participating countries. And they wanted them to implement, quote, gender equal and fair portrayal practices in all forms of communication. Every person, it said, irrespective of their gender identity or sex variations, has the right to practice sport without discrimination and in a way that respects health, safety, and dignity. That's what the IOC said that all the countries should do. And they also stated that, quote, use of phrases such as born male, born female, and biologically female are dehumanizing and inaccurate when used to describe transgender sports people and athletes with sex variations. A person's sex category is not assigned based on genetics alone, and aspects of a person's biology can be altered when they pursue gender-affirming medical care, unquote. These are the guidelines put out by the United Nations and the International Olympic Committee. And Now, what's this going to lead to for future Olympics? Hopefully people will snap out of this total insanity and stop it. But the probability for that is low. But what's actually happening here on the ground? What's the practicality of it? Couldn't be any clearer. You've got men beating up women in boxing tournaments now. And now that they've allowed this, it will spread to weightlifting, judo, track and field, shot putting, everything. You're going to see biological males with chromosomes, right? And you'll see biological females competing against them with their chromosomes. And you're going to be staring at people competing against each other with XX chromosomes and XY chromosomes. That should be the test. It couldn't be any simpler. All you do is check the person to see their chromosome status. That's all you have to do. And you don't let them compete in the same sport. Absolutely ridiculous. The two boxers who had male chromosomes beat the living stuffing out of their female competitors. One of them quit after 40 seconds because she was afraid she was going to be permanently injured. She had never been hit that hard before. Well, that's because she hadn't been competing against males. Duh. We've reached a point now where Paul got it clearer than any of us could. The day is coming when people will not listen to sound doctrine, but after their own lusts. They will be lovers of themselves, covetous, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God. They will speak lies and hypocrisy. Welcome to the French Olympics. They will have their consciences seared. These people have no conscience whatsoever, putting biological males against biological females. It's absolutely ridiculous. But this is society we have now, when Christianity, as Mr. Musk said, has become toothless. There's no way in the world they would ever treat a Muslim like that. They would have never done that to a Muslim and had a parade mocking Muhammad and Allah like they did the Last Supper of Christ. That would have never happened. They would have never had the guts to do that. But they did it to Christianity because Christianity is now toothless. See you next time.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership. This program was sponsored by Michael W. Smith.